Woo! We gonna have a fun one tonight. We are gonna have a very fun one tonight. Wake up, wake up. It is the first of the month, folks. You know, if there's one thing I like about these NXT takeovers is that they start early and they kind of end early too, giving you more time to do whatever you need to do, especially on a Saturday night. Because the show kind of ended around, what, 8:30 something? I think almost 8:40 around my time. Because Takeover 25 started at about 6 o'clock where I'm at. So that's what I like about Takeover sometimes. It's a 2.5 hour show, 5 matches, and doesn't really take forever to an all-night thing, really. And, you know, there's a lot to really say about tonight. Very good show. You know, usually I'm used to these takeovers being on some type of weekend that is pretty much followed by another WWE pay-per-view tomorrow on the next day. But this was a different show, I feel like. Well, not so different. Sure, it's, you know, it's Takeover, it's NXT. Like, it's hard to say anything really bad about these shows to begin with. And this was a very enjoyable night. Trust me, man. I feel like it's a wrestling pay-per-view show almost every Saturday or Sunday now, it looks like. And trust me, I'm going to get into more as we go on. But a lot of things are going, you know, on tonight, especially with NXT Takeover 25. You know, from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I know some people said they could just call it NXT Takeover, maybe Connecticut, or NXT Takeover Bridgeport. There could have been a lot of names for it, but I just think the symbolism is that, you know, for NXT Takeover 25 is that they have done over 25 takeovers now at this point for the past 5 years, and they continue to go strong. Which, of course, they had a video package, you know, pretty much showing all the way from the beginning, currently to now, to many moments in TakeOver history, where a lot of the people you see now that were from TakeOver, from NXT, are in the main roster, and most of them are being killed right now in the main roster. But that's for another time, no, from that booking standpoint. But kicking off with, like I said, NXT 25 live, kind of a funny shot I noticed when they said the true alternative to sports entertainment. I'm sure you know who they're taking a shot at right now if people want to say AEW, because with tonight's show, and I've been seeing people saying this all week about TakeOver, how is Triple H and them going to top themselves after the shots AEW threw out last week at them, or just the WWE in general? Mostly, if we know the Cody one, sending missiles at Triple H's head, if you want to go on from that, just after what happened last week. But, you know, I kind of noticed them saying that. But, you know, on commentary, they had Nigel McGuinness, Mauro Ranallo, and Beth Phoenix. I don't know what happened to Percy Watson. Somebody say he was pursuing his acting career, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I didn't think he was that good on commentary. Beth Phoenix, I don't know, man. Beth Phoenix wasn't bad per se on commentary. I just kind of felt like she was just there to be there at one point. But I can at least go on a limb and say she is better than Renee Young, which by levels, because trust me, I don't really need to be hearing Renee Young on commentary. I gave that a chance, and I'm not going to go on that whole thing, but her commentary is not good. But like I said, TakeOver kicking off the show with Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. A very good opener to this show. Very enjoyable. Of course, pretty much right off the bat, several NXT chants all over the place, just crazy. And this was just a great match, of course. Like I said, both guys just pretty much right off the bat going in. Collar tied elbow, pretty much knocking each other to the ground. A lot of stiff strikes out there, I will say that, which, of course, there was undisputed chants and, you know, bro chants for Matt Riddle. One thing I did like was when Riddle went for the moonsault, but, you know, Strong put his knees up then, pretty much hit him with a, you know, back a knee to head, a power bomb, and then another knee to head, which was cool. Did a power bomb for a near fall. Pretty much tried to put it into the Boston Crab then, but you know, Strong rolled over. Pretty much hit his knee in the Riddle's back then after that. Riddle had started kicking Strong then. Had him in the bro mission. Pretty much had him on his feet, but got him to the ground. Pretty much kept elbowing Roderick Strong as he held in the bro mission then. And then pretty much did the Cradle Tombstone, which I thought was going to be a regular Tombstone, but by the way he did, I was about to say Gotch Tombstone, but it was a Cradle Tombstone. Pretty much got the clean win on that. So very good opener to kick off the show. Crowd was hot. People loved it. Very enjoyable match. So nothing really bad to say from here. I will say the crowd did look very more darker how they showed it. The arena itself was pretty big. It's not one of the bigger arenas and kind of more of a medium, smaller stage set, but it was a very, very lively crowd out there. They had Shawn Michaels and Road Dogg pretty much in the crowd at one point. Next, probably one of the best matches of the entire night, and very brutal matches of the night, I would say, because this was one of the tougher ones to follow. This was a Fatal 4-Way Ladder match. Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins, man, I don't know how long he's been in NXT, but I believe this is his first takeover. I think Montez Ford also, Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan and the Forgotten Sons. Blake and Steve Cutler for the vacant NXT tag titles. Personally, I still think they should have put War Machine in this, just because I think it was odd they just had to relinquish the belts because they were on the main roster. You could have just had them lose the belts here. I would have been more fine with that. But overall, this was a brutal match. First off, let me say this. Kyle O'Reilly took a freaking beating out there tonight, okay? Someone paid that man more money for the beating he took, okay? Because from the beginning, as everybody's pretty much started going at each other, as soon as the ladders were being brought in by the Profits, pretty much Danny Burch, I believe, did a dive on the outside, knocking the ladder down with him. Pretty much another I think Blake did a suicide dive on Fish and O'Reilly on the outside with the ladders. Also, one of the more brutal spots, especially what happened to Kyle O'Reilly, pretty much Fish and O'Reilly were on the ladder going for it. Blake knocks the ladder down. O'Reilly just lands on his back, where you just see this big gash in his back, just blood coming right from there. Just very bad, I will say that. That was just like one of the hardest bumps. I said Kyle O'Reilly was he looked dead after that, okay? He really did. And, props for the guy just fighting his way through this match. Pretty much Burch and Lorcan pretty much went for the ladder then, but we pretty much got they pretty much got Blake and Cutler then suplexing him from the ring then. Let me say one thing about Montez Ford. This man can fly. He can fly. Now, I will say it's about the Street Profits. Did I think they were kind of like a PG or some type of I don't know discount Crime Time? Yeah, I kind of called him that just because of the whole Red Solo Cup thing, just multiple other stuff. But I gotta say though, Montez Ford, the man can fly. Okay, this dude just like almost like Ricochet level leap. Okay, this dude was just flying in this match so crazy. I couldn't tell you where he was gonna come from. Okay, and let me just say this about Fish and O'Reilly back up on the ladder again, which Blake, I believe, I don't know if he power bombed Fish into the ladder, pretty much knocking O'Reilly down, landing on Fish then. That looked pretty insane, which once again, even Mauro Ranallo said they killed Kyle. He looked freaking dead. Okay, he was dead. All right. But after O'Reilly got power bombed into the ladder. Once again, that still looked brutal. Next thing you know, Burch and Lorcan did a doomsday device on one of the Forgotten Sons. And a crazy blockbuster. Once again, let me say this again. Montez Ford, the guy just freaking flies when you did a blockbuster on one of the Forgotten Sons, just knocking him down like crazy. Next thing you know, Gunner. I'm sorry, not Gunner. Jackson Riker, I believe. Listen, I'm still calling him Gunner. I'm just used to saying that. Pretty much coming to the ring then, beating up all three teams, knocking them into the Riker. Pretty much knocking him on every person into a ladder all over the place at one point. He pretty much dropped everyone. Lorcan tried to charge into him, but he knocked down Lorcan into the ladder also. But pretty much then Ford hit him from behind. Next you know, all the teams start jumping Gunner then, and then they start beating him down with a ladder, just squashing him with it up and down, up and down. They start killing him with the ladder until they all start fighting each other again. Fish and Riley had the ladder back up there. And this was one crazy thing about it. Undisputed Era about to throw, I guess, a ladder at Riker because they knocked him out of the ring with the ladder, but he still kept standing up. Next thing you know, Montez Ford just jumps over the ladder Fish and O'Reilly are holding. I swear he almost didn't even hit Gunner out there, but hits him. Just like I said, the man can freaking fly. I believe I can fly if you want to go with that. He just flies, okay? And then next, Lorcan comes with a dive. Everybody's just diving onto Riker, and he just wouldn't go down. So at least they were making him look very strong out there, which looked pretty crazy. They pretty much Fish and O'Reilly tried to go back for the titles. Burke and Lorcan had stopped them. Then they tried to go for the ladder, up the ladder themselves, but Fish and O'Reilly pretty much cut them off. Then pretty much had a ladder next to it, setting them up for that. Pretty much they started punching each other most of the time, see who's gonna fall first. Blake and Cutler pretty much pushed them over, and they started climbing the ladder then, thinking they were gonna win the Forgotten Sons, but Dawkins pretty much runs under the ladder, spears one of the Forgotten Sons to the ground. Montez Ford just leaps from either the turnbuckle or the ropes. I don't know if he springboarded, but it looked freaking cool. The crowd went nuts for it. Knocks Blake or whoever off the ladder and wins the tag team titles. Listen, I didn't even think they were going to win. And that was in my predictions too. I didn't know who to choose. So I said, you know what? I'm going to choose the Street Profits. And I didn't think I was going to be right about that, okay? Like I said before, I like the guys, but they still remind me of a Discount Crime Time. But they earned this one, okay? This was a prediction I didn't even think I was going to get right. But this was just an insanity match out there. These guys killed each other out there tonight. This was just an amazing ladder match, which you cannot really say nothing really bad. Kyle O'Reilly took a beating out there. Make sure you add some more money to his paycheck. If not, Montez Ford is just, he can fly, okay? The man can freaking fly. How many times I gotta keep saying this here? The dude's insane. All right. I don't even know where they would. What is this dog doing here? Some dog looking at me. But yeah, I didn't even know where they were gonna go with this. But amazing match, crazy ladder match, and this is where the next thing I'm gonna say. This is where the next match is kind of hard to follow from this. Next thing you know, Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze for the NXT North American Championship. Breeze, who kind of had this whole old selfie entrance again. Dream coming out. I still think the guy looks like Prince. This was a good match. I will say that. One spot I did like during the match was when Dream pretty much threw Breeze onto the announce table and then took the, he started hitting with the table. He took his phone and says, take a selfie. Take a selfie. And it was on the big screen then, which was pretty cool. Pretty much Dream hit the, Death Valley Drive for a 2 count then. He pretty much about to get the Purple Rainmaker, but it did not work. Dream was able to get out of there. Hit the super kick into the beauty shot then after that. Into the beauty shop then after that. Pretty good. Next thing you could see Tyler Breeze's head bleeding or his ear bleeding at one point after they tried to do that whole tombstone again on each other, but it was pretty much to a drop kick. And Breeze's ear kind of started bleeding then after that. He tried to hit him with the Unprettier. He did him with the Unprettier. Dream kicked out. Like I said, he hit the beauty shop then, but Dream pretty much got outside of the ring. Breeze started arguing with the referee. Pretty much Breeze had tried to pull Dream back in, but he had the title in his hand. The referee had took the title away from him. Dream pops back in, hits him with the Death Valley Driver. Purple Rainmaker for the win. Hits him for the win. Dream retains. So really good match, I will say that. Pretty much hard to follow after the ladder match. It really was tough to follow. This was not a bad match, but I didn't really see Velveteen Dream losing. I don't know if this was really a one-off thing for Tyler Breeze. Some say he is back in NXT for good, but I'm hearing he's not, because then pretty much right after then, Dream wanted to take a selfie with him, which they ended up taking a selfie, and that was it. Listen, I'm just glad Tyler Breeze finally got to do something, okay? It's better than what he's doing on the main roster. He's literally doing nothing. He was doing something when Fandango was around. They had the whole fashion files and stuff, but you know, Fandango's hurt right now, and he's pretty much been gone for a whole year. So Tyler Bree's just been literally sitting around doing nothing. And come on, ever since he's been on the main roster, it hasn't been the best look for him. Like a lot of these NXT guys that end up going to the main roster. Okay, so you know, after them posing a picture of each other, I don't know if it'll be a rematch, but I don't think I don't know if he's gonna be there for another match for NXT. That I'm not sure of. Okay, that's gonna be a one to be debatable on if Tyler Breeze will be back in NXT. I don't know if this was a one-time thing. Then hey, at least he got to do something on here. I would like to see the guy more often in NXT because need to send half these NXT guys back to their show so they can do something what they didn't, because they're not doing on the main roster. Okay, they're literally not doing anything, or they're just getting buried. EC3 if you want to go off from that, but he didn't really do that much in NXT if you ask me anyways. But pretty much yeah, Dream and Tyler Breeze, they put on a good match out there. Just a little bit tough to follow after the the whole ladder match then after the whole ladder match, but good match though. Next they played Punishment Martinez video, which is now Damian Priest. I don't know why they changed his name, and I'm now first hearing of this. I'm surprised I'm late on that, so I guess he's got a new gimmick or something. NXT Women's title on the line, Io Shirai versus Shayna Baszler. Pretty much both women coming out. Io Shirai, who has the mask with her, which I believe the announcer said had to do with Rey Mysterio. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but doesn't the mask have to do something to do with Hiromu Takahashi when he was wearing a mask in Mexico back then during Excursion and New Japan Pro Wrestling? Because I think Dragon Lee wore the same mask because that was his rival down in CMLL at the time and in New Japan. So I believe that's supposed to be Time Bomb's mask, Hiromu Takahashi, not Mysterio. I could be wrong, but I kind of remember that not that long ago. That's what the mask is supposed to be, like Takahashi's mask. I just wanted to put that in there because I just kind of noticed that. But Shayna Baszler pretty much walking out on her own against, leaving Jessamine Duke and Marine Shafir in the back. This was another one of these matches that was kind of hard to follow, which the crowd was still in it. Don't get me wrong, but even I could tell the crowd, they still had the energy, but not as hot as they were for the ladder match. This was a good match though. I'm not discrediting that or anything, because pretty much during this match, after Shirai tried to go for the moonsault, and she pretty much hit Baszler on the floor, Shafir and Jessamine Duke come out. Candice LeRae comes with a kendo stick then, beating the crap out of both women, even pretty much doing a crossbody on them then. Io Shirai went for the moonsault. Baszler pretty much avoided it, hit Shirai with a forearm, pretty much putting her into the Kafruta clutch then. Shirai tried to get out of there, but she eventually tapped out. I was actually surprised they even had Io Shirai tap out, okay, because I did not kind of expect that. Did I think Shirai was going to win? Maybe, but at this point, I don't know when they're really going to move Baszler to the main roster. Then again, she doesn't even need to go to the main roster because even I'm wondering now when she's going to drop this title, to be honest. And pretty much then right after, Shirai had a kendo stick and pretty much beat the living crap out of Baszler with, and even took a steel, well, she did one moonsault, but then she had a chair then, and did another moonsault with the chair onto Baszler then after that, as the fans chanted one more time, but Io Shirai pretty much then left after that, as Baszler pretty much, was trying to get up, after Shirai beat the crap out of her. So, I guess Candice LeRae may be the next opponent for Shayna Baszler. I'm not really sure. I could be right for all I know. But with Shirai tapping out, I guess they may move on to Candice LeRae next. Because what other women does Baszler have left? Because when you get a point, Baszler has pretty much ran through most of all the top women in NXT as we speak right now, unless you want to name someone else from that lineup I'm missing. But Candice LeRae most likely will be next for a title shot. I could be wrong. Maybe it could be a rematch for Io Shirai. But anyway, I'm not surprised she lost. But even I kind of expected Shirai to win this one on here. One thing, now this is something that caught my eye for an announcement NXT made. And I'm sure a lot of people are gonna say this right now. This is them trying to go head to head with AEW because they announced their next takeover for Takeover UK, NXT Takeover Cardiff, which is on a Saturday, August 31st, the same day as AEW All Out, which I may go to that show. I'm really starting to think about that. I went to All In. Could I go to All Out? I don't really know, but I may go though. But something about that was really interesting. Now I know there's time differences between the UK and America, because when I saw NXT Takeover Blackpool, it's already night over there in the UK, and I saw Takeover Blackpool, I think it was like about what, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2, I think it was like 1 to 3 something I saw in the afternoon. I know that. I'm just trying to remember, but I kind of find that very convenient that you guys have both shows on the same day on August 31st on a Saturday. So that's something that really, really caught my eye. Could they be on at the same time? I don't think so, because it's time differences unless they want to try and do that. But if I do, because I would probably be watching 2 shows then in the day. But then again, if I go to All Out, I probably will not have time to do that review, because by the time that show ends, I will probably be traveling during watching that show, just looking at the time differences. But hey, I don't know, but that's very convenient that you have both of those shows on the same day, because hey, we already knew All Out was going to be on the 31st in Chicago. Okay, we know that, live and everything. And now Takeover Cardiff is going to be live on Saturday. But then again, like I said, UK and American time, 2 different things. So hey, I don't know, but just wait on it. Dog, stop barking. But pretty much going into the main event then, Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT title. Adam Cole having Josiah, I think his name is Josiah. Listen, Williams. I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but if you do not know who this guy is, and I'm sure people question who is the guy rapping the Adam Cole's theme songs tonight. If you do not know what Wrestling Flow is, I recommend you go check that out. I've watched his videos for a while now. I was kind of surprised that WWE signed him not that long ago. I think he's like, digital something for NXT. But if you do not know who he is, go look up Wrestling Flow on YouTube. The Undisputed Era one was actually the first ever Wrestle and Flow video he ever did. Okay, I remember it because I watched it when it came out. But he has many other videos. I know some haven't really came out in a while, just because I believe he signed to NXT now, or just signed to WWE in general. But if you do look up the Wrestling Flow thing, he has multiple videos on, like I said, Undisputed Era, Bailey, Gorillas of Destiny, Jay White, Marty Scurll, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Shield, who else? Pete Dunne. Listen, it's like several wrestlers he's pretty much remixed their songs to. Drew McIntyre's the old one, Kane, Sasha Banks. The list goes on. Look it up. I recommend you guys look it up. His shit's really that good. Okay, I enjoy those little mini. I know it's kind of short videos, and the songs are kind of short, but they are worth listening to. And I do recommend. And he did a really great one on Black History Month too, especially about black wrestlers. I did enjoy that one also. So if you get a chance, look up Wrestling Flow. I'm sure you all heard it tonight. So I was actually surprised they actually had him come out there perform with Adam Cole. But he went against Johnny Gargano, who had his Captain Marvel gear on. The dude has all the great Marvel gear stuff. But what do I have to say about this match? Was this better than the first one they had back in New York during WrestleMania weekend? My answer is, probably yes. Damn near. This match was just insane. Okay, and walking into this, I didn't know who was actually gonna win this one from here, but wow, this was just insanity. Okay, this match was match of the night. You could put this as match of the year if you want again. You could put both of their matches from tonight and at New York Match of the Year in that category, but was the sequel better than the original? And it's a hard, pretty much nearly a hard yes if you ask me. These guys just went in it, but the story of this, you can say, is that Adam Cole was focusing on Gargano's knee throughout a majority of this match, okay? And you know, I can't even go through every spot in this match, okay? I can't, all right? Just from multiple last shots to the Panama Sunrise from the outside of the ring, which I almost thought Gargano wasn't going to make it back. There was a fight forever chant back there. One thing I did like was when Cole was going for the last shot, Gargano moved and thought he could switch him into the Gargano escape, but I guess Cole learned from last time in New York that he put his own Gargano's escape on Gargano to take him out then. But this insane super kicks was just crazy from the top rope all the way to the outside of both guys super kicking each other. The crowd is just going nuts. Pretty much the trading punches. Let me put this also out there. This was a very pro Adam Cole crowd. Okay, Gargano was still over, but this was a very pro Adam Cole crowd that everyone was mostly cheering for him. Once again, these guys are just having a super kick party out there. Pretty much Gargano put into a reverse Hurricane Rana. Cole pretty much getting back up, hitting with a last shot to the back of his head for a great near fall. Huge NXT chant right after, but Cole started to get pissed and pulled the chair from under the ring. The referee started to stop him. Gargano hit a suicide dive, ref bump. Cole pretty much had tried to swing the chair at Gargano, but it did not work. Gargano then super kicked Cole with the chair, on him, throws him back in the ring, but the referee was still down. As he tried to get the referee in there. Gargano was signaling for the Undisputed Era to come out, which I guess this was a mind game thing, because Gargano kept looking and was trying to fight off with the chair ready for them. But when he got back in the ring, Cole hit him with like a pile driver through the ropes. Pretty much another 2 count then after that. Cole tried to go for the running knee, but Gargano fell down. Cole pretty much told him to get up, and he says, "This is mine," okay? Gargano tried to hit the Gargano's escape. Cole was able to get out of there then. He pretty much kicked Gargano in his bad knee, super kicking him from there. Pretty much tried to go for the Panama Sunrise, but it did not work. And since Gargano couldn't get up mostly all the way and tried to dodge it, Cole went back in, super kicked Gargano back in the knee. Panama Sunrise, 1, 2, 3, new NXT champion. 32 freaking minutes of just a fantastic match. Undisputed Era comes out to celebrate, closes the show. Just an awesome main event, okay? Match of the freaking night. If you want to say it was better than the first one, please go right ahead. This was worth it. This was just an insane match. I will say I was kind of going with Gargano on this one, but I feel like this was a now or never thing with Adam Cole, because even I felt if he had lost, they would have moved him to the main roster. But let's keep him away from the main roster as much as possible. Now, is Gargano still going to be in NXT longer after this? I don't know. If it's one thing I say, he did not really have one successful title defense with this belt. And then I could say that for about the North American Championship or the I don't know, the Tag Championship too, if you want to go on from there, and with the NXT Championship himself. But could it be a rematch? Could it be more for this? Because that's 1-1 for Cole and Gargano, and this was just like a one fall from this. But this match was fantastic. All I can say is, if you did not watch this, go back and watch this match. This was just fantastic. This was just insane. This was just a great show in general. Do I think it was one of the best takeovers of all time? No, I'm not going to go on and say this, but this was a very, very, very good takeover, all right? If it's one of the, listen, I can't really say nothing bad about it, because every match was great, okay? Most of every match, match was great. But if I can name the top 2 greatest matches, that would be between the main event itself and the ladder match. I just thought that the North American Championship was good, and the women's one, but it was kind of hard to follow after the ladder match, and that's where you kind of just saw that kind of, hurt a minute. Like, they still had some good matches, but that ladder match was just kind of impossible to follow. And the opener was really good with Riddle and Strong. I did think that was a very good match also, just to get the crowd hot. So that was good too. All I can, really say from this in the end is that, and I'm sure people saying this tonight, AEW and the main roster really should take notes from that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm sure people were saying, I'm sure Triple H was cooking up a lot of good things for tonight, and whatever his team in the back are to make this show better after the shots that were being taken at them last week. I don't know if the main roster can really listen. These takeovers are great every time, so these takeovers are just great by default. I've say this every video. You can't say really nothing bad that much about it, okay? It's better than what's going on Raw or SmackDown or whatever main roster pay-per-view that's going on right now itself. So, I don't know, Vince or creative team should take notes, but then again, I don't need to keep repeating myself on that. Hey, just go listen to Moxie's podcast then if you want to go from that. But, I don't know, man. Between them and AEW, they really should be watching NXT. Because right now, I'm seeing more of an AEW versus NXT thing, if you ask me, since AEW wants to throw out the shots and stuff. But, you know, overall, NXT Takeover 25, very fun show, very great night of wrestling. Can't really say nothing bad about it. So I feel like I'm seeing a pay-per-view every Saturday and Sunday now. Come on, you got another pay-per-view next week. And come on, people, if you think getting through the regular shows during the week is different, there's a lot more going on next week, too. Because I will be back next week for a review of Dominion. So we got another pay-per-view next. Like, there's like 3 pay-per-view set I've seen in a row on Saturday. You got AEW Double or Nothing last week. You got Takeover 25 tonight. Next week, you got Dominion, which is going to be a lot of big things going on with Jericho and Okada and Naito and Ibushi. I don't know the whole Dominion card, but I'm sure that's going to be a very great show when that goes on. Could it be last year's with Omega and Okada after that match of the year thing? I don't know. And I'm sure people are going to be looking forward to this week, June 5th, Jon Moxley versus Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship. Finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. I may come back with a review on that. Jay White versus Tanahashi. That's going to be a show worth watching itself too. So there's a lot of great things still coming more into the week, folks, that you need to check out, especially with Dominion next week. But like I said, overall, very great show. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Main event was just insane. Ladder match was very brutal. If I could say, we saw, 2 title changes tonight, if I'm not, well, you know, one was a vacant belt, but we did at least see one big title change. But champions were crowned. Street Profits, Adam Cole, new champions in the house tonight. I don't know what to expect, what's going to happen throughout the week, especially if the main roster can really come back with something, which is supposed to be an alleged cash-in, which I can already tell you it's not going to be a cash-in. It's a swerve, folks. So don't believe everything you see on the internet, whatever what Stephanie McMahon and Paul Heyman are talking about. So I can tell you it'll be a swerve right now. But, you know, overall, like I said, it was a fun show, fun night. I jumped out of my seat a couple of times during the main event and stuff. But, you know, still going to be a lot more reviews during the week. And like I said, I got pay-per-views next week that's going to be reviewed next Saturday. So a lot of more things coming up. I'm going to go from here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the show at Hooded Knight 890. Follow it on Twitter. Anything else I can really add from here at this point? Not really, but I got some things to take care of. Hopefully this video will be uploaded in the next hour or two. But I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.